Hey guys, it's Rick with BamAquatics again. Got on my green shirt today. We're going to talk about something green. We're going to talk about moss. I've got several different kinds of moss here in my fish room. Start out with some Java moss. Then I ordered some moss for my good buddy Cody, who's a local breeder here who has a lot of different mosses. And we got some Tawan moss, some willow moss, some giant willow moss, some visiting fontanus in. So now I have several different kinds of moss. So I thought today we'd kind of do the unboxing, show you that, show you how it was packaged, and then we're going to go on from there and we're going to talk a little bit about the different kinds of moss and show you what the difference is. So we're going to get started and we'll come back at the end and we'll summarize everything for you.
Alright guys, we're going to take the willow moss out now and take a look at that and see what that looks like. This is some great moss that Cody sent me. As you can see, I got a great looking portion here of the willow moss. It's a great looking moss. Let this float in the tank over here, and then we'll be right back to show you what it looks like once it's in the tank.
Fontanalis antipyretica, or this willow moss, is really hardy and it's an undemanding live plant. It's great for beginners and experts alike. It's kind of like Java moss. It's a quick alternative to that, and it's growing in popularity. It's almost identical to Java moss, but you can see that the fronds are a little bit larger. It's a little bit more dense. It's easy to keep. It'll grow in cooler or warmer water, and it's very easy to grow, so it's a great plant.
As you can see, the Taiwan moss here, I want to mention that it comes in really wrapped in paper towel, and the paper towel is really nice and wet to keep it moist so that it doesn't dry out while it's being shipped. So if I can figure out how to get this apart here, we're going to open this up and take a look at this Taiwan moss. These are new mosses to me. The only moss that I'd had in my tanks prior is the Java moss. So I wanted to venture out and try to get some different mosses. So I thought I would try a couple of different ones. This is the Taiwan moss. And as you can see, it's a lot greener than the willow moss was. It's a little bit different color green. So we're going to float this in another tank over here, and then we'll take a look at it a little later.
Taxiphyllum alternans, or Taiwan moss, it's a little less common aquarium moss. As you can see, it also has the thicker fronds than the Java moss. It originated in Taiwan. It's really easy to care for. It can grow under normal conditions. If you add CO2 or fertilizers to it, it'll grow faster. But it's a really beautiful moss.
Alright guys, we're down to the giant willow now, and then I have the visiting fontanus, which I'm going to attach to some wood. I'll probably have to float it in a tank until I get that. And we'll go through that a little bit later once I get the wood. But this giant willow here, we're going to open it up and see what that one looks like. I found the place where you'd wrap the paper towel that time. That made it a little bit easier. And the giant willow, as you can see, is a nice looking green moss. It's a little bit larger, you can see, than the other, hence the giant willow portion of it. But it's a beautiful looking moss, so we're going to get that started in one of the tanks and let that grow out.
This Fontanalis antipyretica gigantea moss, or this giant willow moss, you can see it has large fronds there. It's really beautiful green moss. Kind of reminds me of an evergreen tree or a Christmas tree, sort of. This originated in Europe and some other areas, but it's a beautiful bright green moss. This Visitans fontanus is a gorgeous. Here it's kind of like a feathery moss that's a little different than the other mosses in that it'll attach itself to the substrate or whatever you put it on, so it doesn't just float freely and doesn't have to be tied down. But this originated in the U.S. It's a beautiful moss, and it's a great addition to any aquarium. Last but not least, we've got the Vescalaria dubiana, or Java moss. It's the most popular moss probably in the hobby. It's easy to grow. It'll just about grow anywhere. As you can see, it's a beautiful moss. It originated in Asia, and so it's commonly used. So this is probably the most popular moss that there is.
Alright guys, so there's sort of a tour of my mosses. There are lots of other mosses that you might be able to get. These are just the ones I have. Cody has a few more than I do, and of course there's a lot more that he doesn't even have. These are some of the more popular ones, especially the Java moss, and I think the willow moss is going to be an up-and-coming moss that's going to get more and more popular as time goes on. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. Go ahead and tap that notification bell so you'll get notified anytime we upload a video. We're going to be uploading videos on Mondays and Fridays, and then probably going to have a live stream sometime in between. We've been doing some collaboration with Maple Street Aquatics, Brandon there, and we're going to continue to do that, and we're probably going to have some guests along the way, so be sure and tune in for that as we go. Thanks again for joining us here from good old Bama. We'll see you next time.